Ever had a pipe burst or a faucet fail and watched the repair bill climb into the hundreds before the plumber even broke a sweat? Most of those costly fixes can actually be handled at home if you know the right tricks. After 3 decades in the trade, I have picked up 9 old-time plumbing tricks that will save you thousands. Some of these go all the way back to my grandfather's generation. Stick around for number 7. It is one most people have never seen, and the bonus tip at the end is worth the whole video by itself. The first old-time trick on our list is the bread trick for soldering live lines, and this one has saved me more times than I can count. If you have ever tried to sweat a copper joint, and there is just a tiny bit of water still trickling through the pipe, you know the frustration. That little bit of moisture turns your solder into a mess, and the joint never seals right. Here is what the old-timers taught me. Take a piece of plain white bread, not the fancy whole, grain kind, just regular cheap white bread. Tear off a small wad, roll it tight, and stuff it up inside the pipe a few inches past where your fitting will sit. That bread acts like a tiny dam and absorbs just enough water to give you a dry workspace for about 60 to 90 seconds. That is plenty of time to heat your fitting and flow your solder into a clean, solid joint. Once you turn the water back on, the bread dissolves completely and flushes right out through your nearest faucet. No residue, no clogs, no problems. Just make sure you remove the aerator on that faucet first, so the little bread particles do not get caught in the screen. This trick costs you about 2 cents and saves you from calling a plumber who would charge you $200 or more just to do the exact same thing. The second trick that every homeowner should know is using a washer as a drain plug finder, and it is pure old school ingenuity. If you have ever had a backed up main drain and there's a clean out plug somewhere behind a finished wall, you understand how tempting it is to just start cutting drywall and hoping for the best. That guesswork can cost you hundreds in wall repairs alone. Here is the smarter way. Grab a large fender washer, about 2 inches in diameter, and tie it to a piece of strong string or thin twine. Go up on your roof and lower that washer down the vent stack that serves the drain line you are looking for. Feed it down slowly until you feel it stop or hear it clink against something metal. That sound is your clean-out plug. Now measure how much string you let out, and you have got a very accurate idea of how deep that plug sits. Come back inside. Measure that same distance down from where the vent enters the roof line and mark your wall. You have just located your cleanout without ripping open an entire wall. A small, precise access hole is all you need. This saves you the cost of a plumber's diagnostic visit, which can run $150 or more, plus the drywall repair bill on top of that. The third old-time plumbing trick is the candle wax thread seal backup, and this one goes back generations before Teflon tape even existed. Picture this. You are in the middle of a repair. You reach for your Teflon tape, and the roll is empty. Maybe the hardware store is closed, or you are 30 minutes from the nearest one. Old-timers always kept a plain wax candle in their toolbox for exactly this situation. Take that candle and rub it firmly along the male threads of your pipe or fitting. Work the wax down into the thread grooves, nice and thorough. What you are doing is filling those tiny gaps between the threads with a soft, pliable seal that compresses when you tighten the joint. For low-pressure water lines, this works remarkably well as a temporary or even semi-permanent fix. The wax is waterproof. It does not break down quickly, and it gives you a snug seal that can hold up for months while you get around to a more permanent repair. Now, I want to be clear. This is not a replacement for proper Teflon tape or pipe dope on gas lines or high-pressure connections, but for a drain fitting, a garden hose connection, or a low-pressure water supply in a pinch, candle wax has bailed out more plumbers than most people will ever know. Keep a candle in your toolbox. You will thank me later. By the way, if you're finding this advice helpful, you should know it's just a small sample of what I've put into my new guide, The Ultimate Plumbing Playbook. It's packed with step-by-step instructions for hundreds of repairs that can save you thousands. To grab your copy, you can scan the QR code on the screen right now, or just use the first link in the description below. All right, let's continue. The fourth trick on our list is valve exercising to prevent seized shutoffs. And honestly, this might be the single most valuable tip in the entire video. Here is a scenario that plays out in homes every single day. A pipe bursts or a toilet starts flooding the bathroom. The homeowner rushes to the shutoff valve, grabs it, and it will not budge. That valve has been sitting in the same position for 10 or 15 or even 20 years, and it is completely frozen with mineral buildup and corrosion. Now, instead of a simple shutoff, you have got a full-blown emergency and water damage climbing by the minute. The old-timers had a dead simple rule. Every 6 months, walk through your house and turn every shutoff valve you can find. Turn it all the way off, then all the way back on. That includes the valves under every sink, behind every toilet, at your water heater, and your main shutoff at the street, or where the line enters your house. This takes maybe 15 minutes twice a year. What you are doing is breaking up any mineral deposits before they have a chance to lock that valve in place. If a gate valve feels stiff, work it gently back and forth with a pair of adjustable pliers on the handle. Do not force it. Just ease it loose over a few cycles. For quarter-turn ball valves, the same rule applies. Give them a full rotation and back. This 15-minute routine can literally save you tens of thousands of dollars in water damage, because when that emergency hits, and it will eventually, your valves will actually work. The fifth old-time trick is the mirror trick for hidden leak detection, and it is one of the simplest yet most effective techniques I have ever used. Leaks do not always announce themselves with a big puddle on the floor. Sometimes it is just a faint musty smell in a cabinet, a tiny discoloration on a ceiling, or a water bill that creeps up for no obvious reason. Crawling into tight, dark spaces under sinks, behind water heaters, or along basement pipe runs to find a small drip can be a real challenge, especially if your knees and back are not what they used to be. Here is what the veterans taught me. Grab a small handheld mirror, even a compact makeup mirror works perfectly, and a decent flashlight. Angle the mirror behind and underneath pipes where you cannot get a direct line of sight. The flashlight bounces off the mirror and illuminates areas you could never see otherwise. You are looking for any green or white crusty buildup on copper pipes, which signals a pinhole leak forming. On galvanized pipes, look for reddish-brown streaks or blistering. What makes this trick so powerful is that you can catch a leak in its earliest stage, long before it causes real damage. A pinhole leak that goes unnoticed for a few months can rot out subfloor, grow mold behind walls, and lead to repairs costing $5,000 or more. A $2 mirror and 5 minutes of looking can prevent all of that. Make it a habit to do a mirror check under every sink and around your water heater at least twice a year. The sixth trick every homeowner needs in their back pocket is using a pencil to temporarily plug a pinhole leak. And this one is a genuine lifesaver when seconds count. You walk into your basement or utility room and you see a fine spray of water shooting out from a copper pipe. Panic sets in. Most people grab a towel and call a plumber, then watch helplessly as water soaks everything in sight for the hours it takes someone to show up. The old-timers had a faster answer. Grab a regular wooden pencil, the classic yellow number 2 kind. Snap off the tip so you have a fresh point of exposed graphite and soft wood. Now press that sharpened tip directly into the pinhole and snap the pencil off so about 1 inch of it stays lodged in the hole. The softwood swells as it absorbs water, creating a surprisingly tight plug. Then take a hose clamp or a pipe repair clamp and tighten it right over that pencil stub to hold everything in place. This is not a permanent fix, and I want to be upfront about that. But it will stop the leak completely for days or even weeks, giving you time to plan a proper repair on your schedule instead of paying emergency rates. An emergency plumber visit on a weekend can easily run $400 to $600. A pencil and a clamp cost you almost nothing and buy you all the time you need. The 7th old-time trick on our list is the wire hanger trick for clearing drain clogs. And if you have never tried this, you are going to wonder why you spent money on chemical drain cleaners all those years. When a bathroom sink or tub drain starts running slow, the culprit is almost always a clump of hair and soap scum sitting just a few inches below the drain opening. Pouring chemicals down there is not only expensive at $8 to $12 a bottle, it is also hard on your pipes, especially if you have older cast iron or galvanized drains. Here is the old-timer approach. Grab a wire coat hanger from your closet and straighten it out using a pair of pliers. Bend one end into a small, narrow hook, almost like a tiny fishing hook about a 1/4 inch wide. Remove your drain stopper or screen, slide the hooked end down into the drain, and start fishing. Rotate the wire slowly as you push it down, and you will feel it catch on the clog. Pull it up gently, and you will bring out a clump that would make your stomach turn. Run some hot water down the drain after you clear it, and you will be amazed at how well it flows. This works on bathroom sinks, tub drains, and even shower drains with removable covers. Do this once every few months as preventive maintenance, and you will rarely, if ever, need to call a drain cleaning service, which typically charges $150 to $300 per visit. The 8th trick passed down from the old-timers is heating stubborn fittings with a torch to break corrosion. And this one is essential if you live in an older home with galvanized or brass plumbing. Anyone who has tried to unscrew a pipe fitting that has been in place for 30 or 40 years knows the feeling. You clamp on 2 pipe wrenches, you push with everything you have got, and nothing moves. Worse, you feel the pipe starting to twist further up the line, which means you are about to create a much bigger problem. Before you force anything, reach for your propane torch. Apply steady heat directly to the fitting, not the pipe, for about 30 to 60 seconds. What you are doing is expanding the outer fitting just enough to break the mineral bond and corrosion that has essentially welded it in place. As the fitting heats up, you will sometimes hear a faint cracking sound. That is the corrosion breaking loose, and it is exactly what you want. Let it cool for just a few seconds. Then try your wrenches again. In most cases, it will break free with a fraction of the effort. 2 important safety notes here. Always keep a spray bottle of water and a fire extinguisher nearby when using a torch, especially near wood framing. And never use this technique on or near gas lines. This trick alone can save you from having to replumb an entire section of pipe, which could run you anywhere from $800 to $2,000 depending on access and location. And now for the bonus tip that professional plumbers swear by, and this one might be the easiest trick in the whole video. Every plumber I have ever respected keeps a small tube of plumber's silicone grease in their toolbox, and they use it on everything. Anytime you replace a faucet cartridge, swap out an O-ring, install a new toilet fill valve, or rebuild any valve with rubber seals, put a thin coat of silicone grease on every rubber part before you reassemble it. This does 2 things. First, it creates a slick barrier that makes installation smoother and prevents the rubber from pinching or tearing during assembly, which is one of the top reasons new parts leak right out of the box. Second, it protects that rubber from drying out and cracking over the years. A cartridge that might last 5 years without grease can last 8 or 10 years with it. One small tube costs about $4 and lasts for dozens of repairs. When you add up all the faucet cartridges, fill valves, and supply line seals in your house, you are looking at hundreds of dollars in parts and labor saved over the life of your home, all from a $4 tube. Before you go, I want to make sure you know about my complete guide, the Ultimate Plumbing Playbook. It goes way deeper than we can in a single video, with 85 pages covering everything from clearing any clog to replacing your own water heater. If you want to stop wasting money on simple fixes, this book is for you. Just scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to get your copy. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.